Hey, welcome to This Mama's House. Today I'm going to share with you how to get started homeschooling. Hey guys, if you are new to my channel, my name is Tabitha. I am a homeschool mom to 5 awesome kids, and on this channel I am currently doing a back to homeschool series where every day for 2 weeks I am sharing new homeschooling videos. I will leave the playlist down below so you can make sure and see all of the videos and get all caught up if you've missed any so far. But today I'm going to share with you simple steps to get started in homeschooling. This is my 8th year homeschooling. I can't believe it, but I'm really excited for this year. And I'm excited to be able to share this stuff with you guys. So make sure you're subscribed if you are new, and let's get started with the tips. So the first step when you are starting to homeschool is to come up with your why. What is the reason that you want to homeschool your kids? Maybe it's because there is so much going on in our country right now and the schools are changing, and maybe you just don't want to send them to school anymore. Or maybe you've always thought about homeschooling and this is something that's just been on your heart for a long time. So whatever the reason is, I think you really should come up with why. Ways to figure out why you want to do it is to pray about it. You can make a pros and cons list. You could write out any fears that you might have. And you could talk to other moms that are already homeschooling. There's a bunch of homeschool moms on Facebook and Instagram and here on YouTube. You could ask them any questions that you might have. You could always message me on Instagram. I am really good about answering my messages. I think just being grounded in your why is really important, because when those hard days come, and you're gonna have hard days, you'll at least know why you're doing this. If you want to know why I homeschool, I already made a video about that, so you can go check out my top 3 reasons why I chose to homeschool back 8 years ago. Step number 2 for starting to homeschool is to figure out your state regulations. I'm not sure about other countries, but in the United States, each state has different stipulations and things that you need to do and rules that you need to follow in order to homeschool your kids. Some states require a lot from you. They may require you to write a letter of intent to your school district. You may have to take attendance. You may have to do standardized testing throughout the year. You might have to turn in your work to the school district. There's all sorts of regulations that different states have. Some states, like mine, are very lenient, where you don't have to tell anybody that you're homeschooling. You don't have to turn in anything. So you just need to figure out what you are required to do in order to homeschool your kids per your state's regulations. I will leave a link down below where you can check out all of the states listed and what each state requires, so that you can figure out what your state requires. Step number 3 is to figure out what education style you and your kids most resonate with. So there's all sorts of different ways to teach and educate, and it's all up to you and what you feel fits with you best. You need to ask yourself, how do your kids learn? How do you want to teach? Maybe you just are trying to bring the traditional school setting into your home and you like doing tests and quizzes and things like that. Or maybe you are more of the unschooling philosophy, where it's very child-led. Again, I will have a link down below on the different learning styles and education philosophies, so you can check those out and maybe figure out what you think would be best fit for your family. Step number 4, once you know what educational style you are going to use, now it's time to dive in and find some curriculum that you want to use and purchase. So curriculum can be extremely overwhelming. There is so much out there, but that's a good thing, because you'll be able to find something that's the perfect fit for you and your kids. You'll definitely want to figure out if you want an all-in-one curriculum where you just order for the certain grade and it just all shows up in one big box at your door, or maybe you want to order each subject individually. This is really going to depend on your education style and how you want to teach your kids. So that is why determining your educational philosophy first is key. My biggest piece of advice for first-time homeschoolers is less is more when it comes to curriculum. You could even get free homeschool curriculum online, especially for the younger grades. I even know of a website called all-in-one homeschooling, easy peasy homeschooling. I'll link it. But they have all sorts of free resources, free worksheets right on the website. So really all you need is a printer, and you don't even have to buy any curriculum because they have pretty much all of it. Curriculum doesn't have to be expensive. It can be exactly what you want and what you can afford. Next, you're going to want to buy supplies. So you're going to want your traditional school supplies: pencils, pens, paper, notebooks, folders, erasers, sharpeners, all that fun stuff that is oh so fun to buy. Back to school shopping is one of my favorite things. But you're definitely going to want to have some of that stuff on hand. I'm going to have a must-haves video come out soon where I share my top homeschool supplies that you have to have. So stay on the lookout for that. The next step to start homeschooling is to set up your space. Are you going to have an entire classroom in your home devoted to homeschooling, or are you going to homeschool at the dining room table? I have done both. So in my old house, we had an entire classroom set up. I absolutely loved it. But in this house, we have a lot less space. So we are just going to be homeschooling at the dining room table, and we have a dresser to organize all of our supplies. It really can be as extravagant or as simple as you want it to be, but you definitely need a space to store your curriculum and your supplies, and just like a central location where you can keep everything neat and organized. The next step is to figure out what groups you want to become a part of, or what activities you want your kids to participate in. Do you want your kids to be in sports? Do you want them to do music lessons or language lessons? Or maybe you want to join a scouting program like American Heritage Girls, or maybe you want to do a homeschool co-op. We've done all of those things and we've really enjoyed it, but you definitely want to determine which ones you want to participate in. That way you know where you have to be on certain days. And that leads me to my final step for starting to homeschool, and that is planning out your school calendar. Once you have your curriculum and you know how many lessons that you have, and once you know what extracurriculars you're going to take part in and where you have to be when, you'll be able to put your schedule together. So I always like to plan the entire year in advance and just determine what days we want to take off. We don't do homeschool on the kids' birthdays. We take an extra week off during Christmas. So just determine when you want to have time off and when you want to do school. That way you know that you'll be able to complete all of your lessons in the school year. So those are my simple steps to get started with homeschooling. I hope this video helps you out. If you are a homeschool mom, leave comments down below if you have any other suggestions for these new moms and dads that are starting homeschooling this year. I'd love to read your comments. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!